Hey, beautiful co-creator. Mijn naam is Maartje. I'm a Dutch law of attraction coach. I help people to understand how they create their reality so they can manifest their dreams. Okay, and in this video, we're going to talk about toxic people, how to deal with toxic people. It's a question of one of my clients, so I thought I'm going to shoot a video to explain her and also you well, how to deal with toxic people, because it can give you the worst feeling ever if you have to deal with toxic people and you feel really powerless, and you don't have to be. You know, there's an energy dynamic behind the interaction, and I'm going to explain it to you so you can start to understand how this works and what you can do to change this dynamic. Okay, so first of all, how to recognize toxic people, because if people are really mean, you know, or cruel, or they're really nasty, it's easy to recognize toxic people and you can stay away from them, you know. But a lot of toxic people, they aren't that open about it. They are kind of sneaky about it, you know. So a lot of the times they seem really nice. They have this attitude like they are standing in that they are doing nothing wrong. You know, they are behaving like the victim, and they are, well, pointing their finger at you. And also it's really hard for other people to see they are toxic or they are being manipulative, because, you know, they don't do it with everyone. They only do it with the people it actually works with. And so it's really hard to really see it in the way they behave. It's easier to see if you have to deal with toxic people in the way you feel and in the interaction. So you feel really drained around these people. That's a really clear sign. They take away all your energy, you know. And the second thing is you get really confused. It's so hard to get these people, and that's normal, because the normal rules of communication, they don't apply those rules. They have a different agenda, you know. They don't want to sort things out with you. They just want to get a response. They just want to get your energy. So it's like you don't get their behavior, you know. That's a really important sign. You look at their behavior and you can't make any sense of it, you know. The one they go left, the other they go right, you know. It's, if you think you get them, they change their behavior around. It's so confusing to your mind, you know. So that's a really important or a big sign that you are dealing with a toxic person. And the next sign is, no matter what you do, you can't seem to win. You know, every time they say they want something or they need something, and you change your behavior, they want something else or they need something else. It's like you can't win. You know, whatever it is you are doing, you can't do it right. So those are really important signs that you are dealing with a toxic person. So this is really important to know, because most of my clients, they are really intuitive, highly sensitive. We have you know, we get really influenced by this negative energy, and we tend to adapt our behavior or adapt who we are to fill their needs, you know, because we just want peace and quiet. We just want to resolve whatever is going on. So you tend to give a lot. But this is the thing with toxic people. they have a different agenda. They don't want to resolve it with you. You know, all they want is to feed on your energy. They want to get a response. So this is what you really need to know, because if you keep giving and trying to resolve, and they have no they don't want to resolve it because it's not beneficial to them. They don't have, they most of the time don't have the skills to communicate and express themselves honestly, and you know, find that win-win solution. They don't have the skills, but they don't want it. All they want is your energy. You know, they want to have this sense of entitlement, of being better than you. They feed on manipulating you and seeing that you are doing what they want. You know, it gives them a sense of power. That's the only way those people can feel their power. They lost touch with their innate power, so they need you, and as long as you're feeding it, yeah, they get exactly what they want. So they don't want a resolution. They don't actually want to dissolve the negativity. It's of no purpose to them. So that you got to accept that. Nothing you can do. Well, there are obviously some other things you can do, but what works with, you know, normal people, and you both want the same thing, you both want to resolve the conflict, that's not what they want. So what can you do? You know, first you have to know there really are no victims and perpetrators. You know, there's only it's all in the dynamic. They aren't bad people. Because we are all one. You know, those people most of the time are in pain. They haven't, no one really encouraged them when they were growing up, or loved them, or gave them a good example of how life it is supposed to be like. They are a lot of time really protective about what they have. They feel threatened by you, maybe, you know, but in general they feel threatened. They are afraid that people can take things of them. They, yeah, they really live with a lot of fears inside of you, but you can't fix it, you know. So what can you do? So see that it's all about the relationship, about the dynamic. So do your inner work. You know, why are you giving this person so much power? That's a really good question to answer. Why do you want them to give you permission, or the message that you're good enough, or what do you want from them? Because you obviously are giving and giving and giving in the hopes of, well, they that they say, well, you're good enough, or I forgive you, or what do you want from them? And you need to start giving that to yourself. You are good enough. You know, you don't have to co-create with negative people. There are so many people in the world that are willing to co-create on from a level of love, you know. So whatever it is that you fear will happen when you walk away from the connection, or when you put up healthy boundaries, start to investigate those beliefs, because we create our beliefs create our reality. So it's really important that you start uh, seeing what you actually believe about these people. You know, why do you need their approval? Why do you need this relation? Why do you need that to them to change their behavior? You have to ask yourself those questions, because you need to give that to yourself. You start to and let them be. You know, they have stuff to work out. You can't do it for them. It doesn't mean that the negativity will never get resolved, but at this moment you can't resolve it by giving and giving and giving, because it's draining your energy, and you got to stop doing that. So the next thing you have to ask yourself is, what are you projecting onto them? Because everyone is you pushed out. We are all mirrors of each other. So if you project onto them, they are being really nasty, you know, or they aren't respecting my boundaries or whatever, you know, stop projecting that. Just send them love, send yourself love, you know, and know that you can change this dynamic. You don't need them to change the dynamic. You can do this. Okay, so the next thing is raise your frequency, raise your vibration, so to speak. Grow above it. You know, it's a toxic dynamic. It's a toxic vibration. If you raise your vibration and you are not, well, if they want to do this and you won't let them, you rise above it, you know, don't respond, don't give in to it, then they will stop, because they are not getting what they want. And what they will do is they will find someone else to get, you know, their energy to be that vampire they want to be. They will find someone else, you know, or, you know, maybe they also get some insights and they will resolve the situation, but then it's because you put in boundaries. Well, and just to be clear, it's no use to talk about these boundaries with these people. It's no use to blame them. It's no use explaining how you feel or what you need. You can do it, you can experiment with it, of course, but most of the time, if you keep giving in or keep giving energy, they will make it about you, that you've done something wrong. So the best thing, if you have to communicate with them because it's an ex-partner or it's your parents or whatever, keep it um, uh, business-like. Stick to facts. You know, don't feed into their drama. Don't, and they can be really, how do you say that? Sneaky about it. You know, how they are fishing for a response, but don't give into it. If you have to talk about it with someone else, you know, just vent a little bit, but then look at these steps again. You know, don't be the victim. Do the inner work, see what you are projecting, and raise your vibration. Stand above it. You know, no one has the power to manipulate you. You know, you don't have to do anything for anyone. So grow above it, stand above it. So if you have to communicate with them, stick to the facts. For example, if it's about the kids, or it's your ex partner, and they are like, yeah, and you did this the other day and I didn't like it, and this and that. Well, you know, there you have two choices, because if you start to talk about the situation, you are feeding them energy. And even if you say, okay, I'm so sorry, I will change, the next time I will do this and that, the next time that they will come with something different, and it can be the total opposite. You know, I was watching a series yesterday on well, a Dutch video site, and it was also about relationships, and there was this one couple, and the girl, she said to her boyfriend, well, you have to go talk to these new girls, and then he did that, and she was really mad. Well, but you don't have to, you know, you can't talk to these new girls one-on-one and this and that. So he was all confused, like, well, but should I talk to them? Shouldn't I talk to them? What should I do? You know, but that's the thing. You can't win it. So stick to the facts. So if you have this communication and they're all like, you have to do this or you can't do that, or I'm really bothered by this thing you did, just ignore it, you know, don't talk about it. Because it has to do, you are communicating, because still communicating, because there are some things you have to resolve. Because if there are no kids or there's no reason to keep in contact, just let it go, you know, let them go. But so they send you this message, you have to do this or you have to do that, so just ignore that and just answer, okay, that's, I will pick up the kids at 2 or something. Just ignore the previous message. And if they say, if they talk to you about it, just say, well, I'd rather stick to the facts, and stick to the facts. Just don't respond, you know, just ignore it completely. Eventually they will give up, and maybe it's going to take some time. And but in combination with the other stuff, with the inner work, with the projections, with releasing them, with sending them love, you know, this dynamic will change. If you only ignore the facts but keep pushing all your drama onto them, or all your expectations, or your disappointment, or whatever negative beliefs, it will still keep going, you know. But if you do the inner work, if you release them, if you send them love, if you raise your vibration, if you change your beliefs, you know, that you don't have to deal with anything or anyone, you know. And you know, these people, that's the last tip I'm going to give you, these people can really give you the idea that you are crazy, you know. And you have to check with yourself, because if you honestly look at the situation, it's probably, you are probably going to say, well, I didn't do, well, maybe I made some mistakes, but being I'm not being really weird about it, or I'm not really doing anything wrong, you know. Maybe I made a mistake, but yeah, we could have let that go by now. We could have resolved the situation by now. So, and this is what you need to say to yourself: you didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, maybe you made a mistake, but they could have, you know, it could have been all over, but they don't want to resolve it, and that's why the situation is keep playing out. So I hope these tips are helping you. Please let me know in the comments if it's of any use. If you have follow-up questions, just let me know. I will make another video about it. I wish you an amazing day. If you want to learn more about manifesting, just sign up for my free ultimate manifesting formula. I will teach you the exact steps to manifest everything you desire, including harmonious and loving relationships. So I wish you a lovely day, and see you later.